If you've spent any real time in a gym, you've heard the classics, right? Fix your slouch, you gotta strengthen your back, or don't lift too heavy, you'll get all stiff. And of course, you gotta lift super heavy to see any growth. It's the kind of advice that just gets passed around. But how much of it actually holds up to science? Well, today we're putting 3 of the biggest gym myths under the microscope, and we're gonna use real research to sort out the facts from the fiction. Let's get into it.
First up, the big one, posture. We all see it, right? Someone hunched over their phone, and we think, man, I should probably hit the gym, do some rows, pull my shoulders back. It's such a common goal. But does the science actually back that up? I mean, can you really lift your way to perfect posture?
So let's just dive right into this whole idea of perfect posture. The advice for fixing that slouched forward look, the fancy term is kyphotic posture, it usually follows a very specific, very simple formula. We're going to look at that common advice and then see what a major scientific review had to say about it. Okay, so this slide just lays it all out. The old advice versus the new reality. On the left, you've got what sounds super logical, right? Your back muscles are weak and stretched out, your chest muscles are tight, so strengthen the back, stretch the chest. Simple. But here's the thing. A huge 2001 review in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found there's a, quote, lack of reliable, valid data to support the idea that this simple formula actually works.
Now, the theory behind this common advice has a name. It's called adaptive shortening. The idea is that if you strengthen a muscle that's been stretched out, like the ones between your shoulder blades, they will literally get shorter over time and physically pull your skeleton back into a better position. But the research points out a massive flaw in that logic when you apply it to the real world.
Just think about your typical workout. You're in the gym for what? An hour? Maybe 3-4 times a week? That feels like you're putting in the work, doesn't it? But what's happening during the rest of your day?
And here it is. This is the crucial point the researchers made. A few hours of exercise a week are probably, and I quote, insufficient to induce adaptive changes in your muscles. Any good you're doing is likely getting canceled out by the other 23 hours of the day when you're driving, or typing, or just sitting in your usual posture. So they suggest the real benefit of the exercise isn't about physically shortening muscles. It's about building the awareness to hold a better position all day long.
Okay, let's switch gears to myth number 2. This one is a classic fear you hear all the time, that lifting weights is going to make you muscle-bound, stiff, and inflexible. We all have that mental image of a bodybuilder who can't even scratch their own back, right? But what if I told you that lifting weights could actually be one of the best things you do to improve your flexibility?
It seems like a trick question with an obvious answer, doesn't it? I mean, of course stretching makes you more flexible. But what happens when we actually put it to the test, scientifically? Well, a fascinating recent study did just that. They took a group of active adults and split them up. One group did resistance training, one did static stretching, and a control group did nothing. So, who do you think came out more flexible?
And the results are honestly kind of shocking. Take a look at this chart. The control group, no surprise, didn't really change. But the resistance training group and the static stretching group saw nearly identical improvements in their flexibility. No, you heard that right. A structured lifting program was just as effective as a dedicated stretching routine for improving flexibility in the hamstrings and lower back.
So how on earth is that possible? Well, this secret weapon is surprisingly simple. The lifting group performed all their exercises through a full range of motion. I'm talking about a deep squat, a Romanian deadlift where you really feel that stretch, or a pull-up from a complete dead hang. You're actively moving your joints through their entire range, but under load. That sends a powerful signal to your body to get more flexible. All right, so we've busted the posture myth. We've busted the flexibility myth. Now let's get into the real nitty-gritty of building muscle. We all know lifting works, but what if the way you lift could totally change the hormonal signals your body sends for growth? That's what this next section is all about. So a landmark study looked at this exact question. They set up 2 totally different workouts. You had a classic strength routine, super heavy weight for just 5 reps, with long 3-minute rests. Then you had a hypertrophy or bodybuilding style routine, moderate weight for 10 reps with short, quick 1-minute rests. They wanted to see which one created a better internal environment for muscle growth. And the results were, well, they were absolutely insane. This chart shows the growth hormone response after each workout. Just look at the difference. The hypertrophy workout, the one with moderate weight, more reps, and short rests, produced a way bigger spike in growth hormone. I mean, it wasn't even close.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that tweaking your training variables can have a massive impact on your body's muscle-building response. That combo of metabolic stress from the higher reps and the fatigue from the short rest periods, it creates this potent hormonal cocktail that just screams at your body to build new muscle. It's not just about lifting heavy, it's about lifting smart for your goal.
Okay, so let's recap. We've learned that posture is more about all-day awareness, that lifting with a full range of motion can make you just as flexible as stretching, and that shorter rest periods can seriously ramp up your growth hormone. So, the big question is, how do we actually put all this together?
Here it is, your blueprint for a smarter workout based on what we just went over. First, make full range of motion your #1 priority. That's going to build strength, and it'll double as your flexibility training. Second, get serious about your rest periods. If your goal is pure strength, go ahead and take those long 3-minute rests. But if you're chasing muscle growth, you've got to slash that rest time down to about 60 seconds. And third, change how you think about posture. Don't try to fix it in 1 hour at the gym. Use your training to build the strength and the mind-muscle connection you need to carry yourself better for the other 23 hours of the day.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. Maybe this whole obsession with having one single, perfect posture is missing the point. A much better goal is to build a body that's strong, resilient, and mobile in a huge variety of positions. A body that's capable of doing whatever you ask it to do, not just one that looks a certain way when you're standing still.
And that's a wrap on busting some of the gym's biggest myths. So next time you're working out, remember, full range of motion for flexibility and match those rest periods to your goals. Hey, if you found this useful and you want more fitness insights that are actually backed by science, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.